Okay, good evening. Shall we start?
Good evening. Yes, sir.
How many are joined? 31. Okay. Start. Okay. Next, let us pass on to the next topic in module 2 is radial basis function. Otherwise, it is called as RBF. Radial basis function. Otherwise, it is called as RBF. Okay. So here in the case of RBF, okay, so we have 3 layers. In the case of RBF, we have 3 layers. So one layer is considered as input layer. Next layer is hidden layer, and the third layer is considered as output layer. But if you see in the case of back propagation or your multi-layer perceptron, whatever may be the case, okay. So you have also hidden layers available in multi-layer perceptron and back propagation. So we have hidden layers available, but the difference of the hidden layer in other neural network architecture and RBF network architecture is slightly variable. But in the case of your VPN and in the case of your multi-layer perceptron, okay, the hidden layer consists of only linear transformations. The hidden layer consists of only linear transformations, or the hidden layer is linear in nature. The hidden layer is linear. Not only hidden, the input layer, the hidden layer, and the output layer all are linear in nature. But in the case of RBF, in the case of RBF, okay, so the input layer is made up of source node that connects the network to the environment. The environment in the sense is RBF environment. But in the case of second layer, only the hidden. The second layer is only the hidden layer. So instead of an linear function or instead of linear applications, okay, we have non-linear transformation from the input space to the hidden space. Non-linear transformation from input to the hidden space is nothing but, so whenever I supply an input in the input layer, okay, so the input layer accepts or it receives the inputs. So here the inputs are nothing but mostly patterns. The inputs are nothing but mostly patterns over here. It accepts the patterns, the input patterns, and it tries to forward it to the hidden space, from the input space to the hidden space, or from the input layer to the hidden layer. So in such cases, in back propagation or in multi-layer perceptron, MLP, okay, so you have a linear functionality will be there, but here you have a non-linear functionality, or we have a non-linear transformations. So each nodes in the hidden layer may have what you can call it as RBF units will be there. Instead of hidden units, we call it as RBF units, or inside the unit we have various RBF functions. Again, there are n number of RBF functions are available. So we need to select an RBF function based on the application what we are going to solve. Based on the application what we are going to solve. The output layer is linear in nature. So supplying the response of the network to the activation pattern applied to the input layer. So output, but from the hidden to the output is linear in nature. From the hidden to the output is linear. So at the output layer, the net input of output layer is calculated, and based on the net input, so at the output of the output layer, what we are trying to do is nothing but we try to apply certain activation functions, and based on the activation functions, so we are trying to find, or we are trying to come to a conclusion that whether the network is going to converge or we are going to continue our iterations. So if we are saying that the network is converged means, so the target and the desired is matching, or it is mapping each other. And if we are saying that the target and desired are not mapping or not matching means, then we say that, so we are going to continue our iterations over there. So here in the case of radial basis function similar to your multi-layer perceptron or similar to your backpropagation network in the supervised learning algorithm. So it is also a feed-forward neural networks. So it tries to compute the activations at the hidden neurons as we are doing in BPN, backpropagation and multi-layer perceptron. But here the activations, how they are computing here is nothing but in the hidden units, because in the backpropagation and the multi-layer perceptron, the hidden neurons or the hidden units or the hidden nodes are linear in nature. But here it is non-linear in nature. So in order to tackle or in order to handle the non-linearity function of the hidden neurons or of the hidden nodes, so what we are trying to do here is nothing but, so we are going to compute an exponential of Euclidean distance measure between the input vector and the prototype vector. Input vector and the prototype vector. So we are trying to find the Euclidean distance. Exponential of Euclidean distance is nothing but e power. The exponential of Euclidean distance measure is nothing but e power Euclidean distance. So for what we are trying to calculate the Euclidean distances, one with a respect to input vector and other with respect to prototype vector that characterizes the single function of the hidden neuron. So originally this RBF introduced into the literature for the purpose of interpolation of data points. Interpolation is nothing but, so where I can able to split or where I can able to segregate or where I can able to divide, okay, divide one pattern with divide one pattern from other pattern. One pattern from the other pattern. That for that purpose only. So initially RBF was used, and slowly due to the advancement of RBF network and the RBF functionality has been improved over the period of years. So that has been used for a variety of applications in other domains of engineering. So this is considered as multi-layer perceptron in MLP. So we say that this may be boys, set of boys, and this may be set of girls. But in the case of RBF, okay, RBF, radial basis neural network, within the boys, so this may have similar characteristics and this may have different characteristics. So this they consider as one single cluster and this they consider as other cluster. Again, in the set of girls, so these three have similar characteristics and these two have different characteristics. So this is cluster number 3 and this is cluster number 4, like that. So here there is a segregation between boys and girls is done by the MLP. But if you use an RBF network, then it will say that within the boys, whether there are multiple clusters or whether there are only one clusters. So based on the what you can call it as the behavior, based on the characteristics, so it may be grouped or it may be clustered into different types or into different forms. So the architecture here, we have this one, the first node, the first portion of this architecture is considered as input layer, and the second portion of the architecture is considered as hidden layer, and the third portion is nothing but the output layer. So similarly, since it is an input layer, it is denoted with x1, x2, x3 up to xn, and since it is hidden layer, it is denoted with h1, h2, h3 up to hm, and this is nothing but the f of x. So here in this hidden nodes, so here RBF units or RBF functions will be given, and again choosing of an RBF function is depending on the type of application what I am going to deal with. So W1, W2, W3, W4 and Wm are nothing but the associated weight values for this RBF, which is nothing but f of x. Then the input layer source node connects to the network of its environment. Hidden units provides the set of basis function. That basis function is nothing but your RBF function. So it provides a high dimensionality picture. So from the high dimensionality, so I am trying to bring down to the low dimensionality in the output space. So it is nothing but linear combination of hidden functions over there. So a linear model for a function f of x, this one. Linear model for a function f of x, the output. Linear model for a function f of x output is denoted by Wj Hj of x. So Wj is nothing but the set of weights associated with respect to this hidden units, and this one Hj of x is nothing but the set of linear basis function which has been applied to different nodes or different neurons of the hidden layer. Different nodes are different neurons of the hidden layer. So the model f of dot is expressed as a linear combination, that is nothing but a set of m basis functions. So for example, here I have three nodes, means I have three radial basis functions, or I have three basis functions. So here the freedom is to choose the different values for the weights, which derives the flexibility and its ability to fit many different functions over here. And this h of x, so here usually it will be f of x equal to y into h of x will be there, but here in y into w will be there. So hj of x is nothing but the Gaussian function, which is nothing but a radial basis function. So special base functions are also be given as an RBF units in the hidden layers. So what are all those special base functions are nothing but classical statistics, which is nothing but polynomial base functions. Hj of x equal to x of j. Polynomial base functions is hj of x equal to x power j. And next one is nothing but in signal processing applications. So we use combinations of sine waves. We use combination of sine waves, which is expressed as a Fourier series formula. So hj of x equal to sine of 2 pi j into x minus theta j divided by m. And in the case of artificial neural networks, so it is used as a logistic function. So h of x equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e power 1 divided by 1 plus e power b transpose of x minus e naught. So one may be considered as a input vector, another may be considered as a prototype vector over here. And the next one is nothing but, so some example they are giving for a linear model. So f of x can be expressed. If I want to express f of x for a straight line means, so I may be expressing f of x equal to ax plus b. That is considered as a linear model. So this ax plus b, f of x equal to ax plus b, this equation have two basis function. So one basis function is nothing but h1 of x equal to 1. So that is nothing but your b, that is constant value, and h2 of x equal to nothing but x itself. Why? Because x is a multiplicative factor of this a. So it has two different weights. One weight is considered as b and another weight is considered as a. This is for a straight line equation formula. So radial basis function. So the characteristic feature, the responses decreases or increases monotonically with the distance from the central point. Central point in the sense. So why they are saying the distance from the central point means, so we are trying to find out the exponential of equivalent distance in the hidden neurons. So for that purpose only, so they are saying that so so it should be monotonically increases or decreases with the distance from the central point. The center is nothing but the distance scale. The center, the distance scale, and the precise shape of the radial basis function are all parameters of the model. All are fixed here, and it is considered to be linear in nature. So what are all considered to be linear in nature? The center point is fixed, the distance scale is also fixed, and the shape of the function is also fixed. So we consider all these parameters are fixed and are linear in nature. So typical radius basis function to be used in the hidden neurons or in the hidden nodes is nothing but, so one is considered as Gaussian RBF, radial basis function, and the next one is considered as multi-quadric radial basis function. So if I say that Gaussian or multi-quadric RBF function, so either it may be monotonically decreases with the distance from the center with respect to Gaussian function, but with respect to multi-quadric function, it monotonically increases with the distance from the center. So one monotonically decrease means it comes in a negative slope. One monotonically increase means it goes in a positive slope. If we draw a graph over there. So what are all the various radial basis functions we are using? So one we say that Gaussian RBF, and other one is we say that multi-quadric RBF. So with whenever we try to use an Gaussian RBF, then this formula needs to be utilized here. H of x is nothing but the basis function, which is equal to expression of minus of x minus c divided by r squared, where r is nothing but the radius and c is nothing but the center over. C is nothing but center. Then it monotonically decreases. Gaussian function, it monotonically decreases from the distance from the center. And multi-quadric means it automatically increases from the center point. So it monotonically increases. That's why it is considered as multi-quadric. So h of x can be expressed for multi-quadric RBF is nothing but r squared plus x minus c squared divided by r. So r is nothing but again radius, and c is nothing but the center point, and x is nothing but the input pattern supplied over there. So this is the Gaussian RBF. So it should be strictly following the bell-shaped curve. Then only we say that it is Gaussian RBF. And this is nothing but multi-quadric RBF. So this is nothing but the example of the graphical representation of your multi-quadric RBF. Why? Because it has to increase, and then we need to find the answer for that. But this has to decrease, monotonically decrease, and then we need to find the answer for that. So with respect to Covers theorem, so Covers theorem is used for complex pattern classification problem. In high dimensional space, there is nothing but whenever we say that it is a high dimensional space means, so it is non-linear in nature, high dimensional space, and it's more likely to be linearly separable than in a low dimensional space. The complex Covers theorem is nothing but a complex pattern classification problem in high dimensional space. Non-linearly is more likely to be linearly separable here than in the low dimensional space. So let x denotes the set of n patterns. X denotes the set of n pattern points. So small x is nothing but capital small x1, x2, x3 up to xn. Each point is assigned to one of two classes. One may be the positive class, other may be the negative class. So if I have an option to divide this two classes. One is x plus classes and x minus classes. That is, if these two classes is linearly separable, if this dichotomy is separable in nature, means there exists a surface that separates these two classes of points. So whenever I say that I am trying to segregate, or I am trying to separate, or I am trying to group x plus in one location and x minus in other location, then I say that there exists a surface that separates these two classes of points. So for each pattern, small x belongs to capital X, I need to define a vector. For each pattern, small x belongs to capital X, I need to define a vector. So the vector is represented as psi of x, which is equal to psi 1 of x, comma psi 2 of x, comma psi 3 of x up to psi m of x transpose. So the vector psi of x maps a point in a p-dimensional input space to corresponding point in a new space of dimension called a n. So each psi I of x is a hidden function, that is a hidden unit. So this is nothing but a hidden function, or it is considered as an RBF function, or it is considered as basis function. All are same one. So the dichotomy, that is nothing but I try to separate, or I try to draw a line, or I try to find a boundary between x plus and x minus values, capital X plus and x minus values, is said to be psi separable. Is said to be psi separable if there exists a m-dimensional vector W such that we may write a Covers theorem as W transpose into psi of x greater than 0, then x belongs to capital X plus. Then if W transpose of psi of x is less than 0, then x belongs to minus, x belongs to x minus. So this may consider as if my W transpose and psi of x values are greater than 0, so I may group them under positive responses. If it is less than 0, I may group them under negative responses. So the hyperplane is defined by if W of t into psi of x is equal to 0 means then it is a line separating the surface between two classes. It is the line separating or plane separating the surface between two classes. Given a set of patterns x in the input space of arbitrary dimension p, we can usually find nonlinear mapping psi of x of high enough dimension m such that we have linearly separable in the new space. So here whenever I say that a pattern X in the input space of arbitrary dimension P. So for that particular input space, I have a dimension called P. So we can usually find the nonlinear mapping psi of X of high dimension NF in M such that we have linearly separable in the psi space. So examples of psi separable dichometries is nothing but linearly separable means, so it will be like this. So pink and all one side and whites and all other side. So we say that spherically separable means, so it is spherically separable as shown in the figure. The next one is nothing but quadratically separable. So this is nothing but this one. So these two are different quadrants. So this may be in different quadrant, this white may be in different quadrant. So this we call it as quadratically separable in picture. We consider the same XOR problem. So before entering into the XOR, this is how the RBF looks like. So you have an input units, and this is nothing but your hidden, which is non-linear in nature, usually linear in nature, but it is non-linear with respect to RBF, and output units are linear in nature. So there is a comparison between this MLP, multi-layer perceptron, and the RBF network. So if it is a multi-layer perceptron, you can have any number of hidden layers. Okay, we can increase the hidden layers, and we can also increase the number of nodes in the hidden layers if I am unable to get a correct answer or exact answer. But in the case of an RBF network, can have only one hidden layer. That is the difference. Both are feed-forward network. Multi-layer perceptron and RBF are feed-forward network. Both are feed-forward network. One second. Randi. sorry, ma'am. There is both are feed-forward networks. So one is considered as MLP, multi-layer perceptron, but in the case of multi-layer, so we can have any number of hidden layers. But in the case of RBF, it is restricted to only 3 layers, so only one hidden layer is possible. But in the case of MLP, it can be fully or partially connected. That is also possible. But in the case of RBF, completely it needs to be connected. Why? Because so there may be a transformation from non-linear functions to a linear function from hidden units to the output units. So for that purpose, we need to compulsory, mandatorily, it should be completely connected. So the processing nodes in different layers shares a common neural network. The processing nodes in different layers shares a common neural network means. So that is a feed-forward network. You have set of input nodes, you have set of hidden nodes, you have set of output nodes. For all the nodes in the input, hidden, and output, you have a common neural network pattern. But in the case of an RBF neural network, so hidden nodes operate in a different manner. So input and output operates as equivalent to your multi-layer perceptron, but hidden alone you have a non-linear transformation, or you may have a non-linear behavior. So in that hidden nodes, so you are trying to incorporate, or we are trying to feed in the basis units or basis functions depending on the applications. That's why they call it as hidden nodes operate very differently and have a different purpose. So here argument of hidden function activation function is the inner product of the inputs and the weightage. That's nothing but mere multiplication, just the aggregation of the inputs into Wi. That is nothing but xi Wi. That is nothing but the argument of hidden function at the activation. But here argument of each hidden unit activation function is nothing but we are taking e power Euclidean distance. So it is e power Euclidean distance, exponential of Euclidean distance we are calculating at the hidden units. So that's why there is the difference between MLP and RBF. So here in the case of MLP, trained with a single global supervised algorithm, but here it is RBF network is usually trained one later at a time. So first one model will be trained, next other RBF function will be trained, then other RBF function will be trained. Then here training is slower compared to RBF, but training is comparatively faster than MLP. But after training, MLP is much faster than RBF in the case of testing case. But here training will be faster, but testing will be very slower. After training RBF, it is much slower than the MLP neurons. So learning methods we know, and these are all the various functions we use. Gaussian functions. Next one is multi-quadric function. The next one is nothing but your generalized multi-quadric function. Next one is inverse multi-quadric function. So multi-quadric function will monotonically increase and Gaussian function will monotonically decrease. So these are all the some of the RBF we are going to use for various applications. So we will go to the problem directly, then you may be able to understand. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the case of RBF neural network, where this basis functions are available, the basis functions are available in the hidden unit of the RBF neural network architecture. Where is exactly the hidden units? Available in the hidden units of this RBF architecture over there. So from for input unit to the hidden, I have one type of learning, and from the hidden to the output, I have different types of learning. That's why they call it as RBF consists of two types of learning. For every RBF, we need to create a learning procedure. For every RBF unit available in the hidden layer, we need to create an RBF learning model. So through this RBF learning, so what we are trying to identify is nothing but, so one we are trying to identify is nothing but the T, and other we are trying to identify is nothing but sigma. So T is nothing but the receptor of this RBF, and sigma is nothing but the spade of the RBF. And the second type of learning is nothing but the connection weights from the hidden to the output units. So here we take, if you consider, there are M clusters in the sense. So I need to, this one, I need to group into various clusters. So I have both boys and girls. Again, in boys, I have only one cluster or I have multiple clusters. And in girls, I have one cluster or multiple clusters. So this may be considered as M clusters. So how many clusters I am going to form? So this may be cluster number 1. This may be cluster number 2. This may be cluster number 3. So this have certain characteristics, and this have certain characteristics, and this have certain characteristics and specifications. So 1, 2, and 3. Here my M value is obviously 3. So capital M is nothing but set of clusters or number of clusters, and capital N is nothing but set of input vectors, which is nothing but the feature vectors. So what I need to do, first operation is nothing but the clustering. First operation is nothing but clustering. I am trying to group. So this has similar characteristics and behavior. I am grouping it as cluster 1, cluster 2, and cluster 3. So after grouping or clustering, yeah, files lab technician வச்சிட்டு போக சொல்லுங்க. கிளம்பிட்டாங்க. டைம் ஆயிடுச்சு. வேற யாரும் ஹவுஸ் கீப்பிங் வேற இல்லை. வேலை இழுத்துட்டே போகுது. இன்னைக்கு இருந்து முடிச்சிடலாம்னு பார்த்தேன். நான் கிளாஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு வரலாம். So if first operation is clustering. Once the clustering is done, then for each cluster, okay, I need to find the center point. For this portion is one cluster, this portion is next cluster, and this portion is next cluster. For each cluster, the center of, for each cluster, I need to find the center point. So for example, for this cluster, I am assuming that this T1 is the center point, and for this cluster, T2 is the center point, and for this cluster, T3 is the center point. So this T1, T2, and T3 are considered as receptors. This is nothing but considered as receptors. So center point of the cluster is considered as the receptors. Okay. So next, once I find the center point, that is nothing but the receptor of the cluster. Once I find the receptor of the cluster, then I can able to find the spade of the ith RBF. Spade of the ith RBF, nothing but, so it may be any point, either it may be this point or this point or this point or this point. So spade of ith RBF can be represented by sigma, So sigma I is nothing but square root of 1 divided by P into summation of Ti minus Tk. Ti minus Tk is nothing but so Ti is nothing but the center of the receptor, and Tk is nothing but the distance from that particular center for this particular spade point. That is nothing but my Tk. So next one is nothing but, so once the spade and the receptors are defined, once the spade and the receptors are defined, so we need to find the RBF value for each and every receptor, RBF value for each and every receptor and spade. So that is expressed as psi I of x, which is equal to epsilon of double summation of x minus Ti the whole square divided by 2 sigma I the whole square. This is nothing but the hidden unit basis function formula. So in the hidden unit we saw no. So it is expressed as, in the hidden unit it is expressed as is expressed as exponential of Euclidean distance measure. It is expressed as exponential of Euclidean distance measure between input vector and a prototype vector. Input vector and a prototype. So here xi is nothing but your input vector and ta is nothing but your prototype vector. There is nothing but your center of the receptor. So this two formulas you need to know. Then so if you take the XOR problem, okay. So XOR problem, what is the outcome of an XOR? If both the inputs are high, output will be low. If any one of the input is low, my output will be high. So in the case of a XOR problem, so I am trying to plot it as a graph. So I have x1 and x2, two inputs are there. So 0, 0 will be here, 0, 1 will be here. Then again 0, 1 will be there and 1, 1 will be here. So for every sigma, sigma is nothing but spade. For every sigma, sigma is nothing but a spade. So for every spade, I need to find the nearest, I need to find the nearest sigma. So for this, you see, I need to find the nearest sigma. So for this, so it will be at a distance of 1. Or if I take T1, T3 will be at a distance of 1 and T2 will be at a distance of 1. If you take T4, it is more than 1. So it is a square root of 2. It is more than 1. There is nothing but 1.414. So it is, if you can convert that value, it will be square root of 2. So that's why, so for every T1, for every T1 or every sigma, we have two neighbors are at distance 1. So for T1, T2 as distance 1 and T3 as distance 1. So two neighbors at a distance 1 and one neighbor will be at a distance square root of 2. So square root of 2. So if you consider this T3, so this one will be at 1 and this T4 will be at a distance 1 and T2 will be at a distance of square root of 2. There is nothing but 2 dimensions to 4 dimensions. So now what I am trying to do here is nothing but so I am trying to find this summations. So totally two inputs are there. So one is nothing but x1 and x2. So these two inputs are converted into 4-dimension RBF using this RBF function. Psi I equal to psi1 I need to calculate, psi2 I need to calculate, psi3 I need to calculate, and psi4 I need to calculate. So psi1 is nothing but T1, which is nothing but 0, 0. Psi1 is nothing but T1, which is 0, 0, and this one is nothing but the receptor, and the sigma one is nothing but spade. So I need only two neighbors. I don't want the third neighbor. So the sigma one, so two neighbors are at a distance 1. So I'm marking it as 1. And T2 also 0, 1. I'm putting it as. So this is nothing but the set of inputs. This 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1, 0 are nothing but the inputs supplied to the XOR gate. And again T3 is 1, 0 and T4 is nothing but 1, 1. So two inputs are given. So the spade value here is all the T1, T2, T3 and T4. So two inputs, sorry, two nearest neighbors are at a distance of 1 and the third one will be at a distance of square root of 2. So we consider that P equal to 2 means, so I can take only two neighbors are at a distance 1 and one neighbor at a distance of square root of 2, which is nothing but 1.414. So for this psi1, psi2, psi3 and psi4, psi1, psi2, psi3 and psi4. So I need to calculate this psi1 value, psi2 value, psi3 value and psi4 value. So what is the formula? E power, the same formula we are using. The formula is e power minus double modulus of x minus ti the whole square divided by 2 sigma I whole square. Okay. The same Same formula I need to use. Psi 1 of x equal to e power double summation of x1 minus t1 whole square divided by sigma. Sigma value is 1. Sigma 1 value, it is 1. Sigma 2 value is also 1. Sigma 3 value is also 1. And sigma 4 value is also 1. நீங்க கிளம்பலையா? சத்யா இருக்காரா கிளம்புறாரா? இருக்காரா? கிளம்பிட்டானே கிளம்பிருங்க அவரு கூடயே. இந்த வந்துடுறேன் 10 நிமிஷம். ஆஷா மேம். சரிண்ணா மேம்.